only months from the premiere of Matrix 4, we've received impressions from some people who supposedly saw the movie. Now we have the first official reaction to Matrix Resurrections, courtesy of one of the main actors. Do you want to know what Keanu Reeves said when he saw Matrix 4? Today we're going to discuss this past week's most important news about Matrix 4. Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Today's first news comes from Variety. They recently revealed when the film's red carpet premiere will be in the United States. The news reads as follows, and I quote, Keanu Reeves was seen shooting The Matrix Resurrections in the Bay Area. Sources tell me that Warner Brothers will hold the film's US premiere in San Francisco on December 18th. Details, including the location, are still being worked on. The fourth installment of the sci-fi film franchise sees the return of Reeves, as well as Carrie-Anne Moss, directed and co-written by Lana Wachowski. The new cast includes Neil Patrick Harris, Priyanka Chopra Jonas, Christina Ricci, and Jonathan Groff. End quote. The last red carpet event for this franchise was back in November 2003 with the premiere of Matrix Revolutions. December 18th is the red carpet premiere, with the movie being released in theaters across the United States on the 22nd. But we here in the US won't be the first ones to see the movie. We have previously mentioned that Matrix 4 would premiere first in France on December 15th, but the date has been changed to the 22nd in that country. Currently, the first countries to see Matrix 4 are Australia, the Netherlands, Portugal, and Russia on December 16th. Followed by Spain and Poland on the 17th. If you live in one of these countries, you have a chance to see Matrix 4 first. We from Matrix Explained will try to teleport ourselves via telephone to any of these countries to see the movie as soon as possible. Our next news story is about the first impressions of Matrix Resurrections. The first official reactions comes from Neo himself, Keanu Reeves. His reactions were made public by director Lana Wachowski during a screenwriting event in Berlin. She recounted Reeves' reaction to the film.
When we showed the film to Keanu, and he really was blown away by it, and he said something I thought was typically Keanu, where it's incredibly insightful, and he's just sort of sitting there, and you don't expect some incredible revelation to come out of him in that moment, but he's like casual brilliance just sort of rolls off of Keanu. And he was just like sitting there and he goes, 20 years ago, you told this story in which you described the coming 20 years and the problems of the nature of digital virtual life and how it was going to impact us and what it was, how we could think about it, and gave us a frame to be able to think about it and talk about it. And you took the same character and the same stories and the same stuff, and somehow you made it about the next 20 years.
Reeves' reaction reveals much of what we thought about the movie, and that is that it will not be a simple action sci-fi flick, but it will touch on issues that affect our society. The Matrix was a worldwide phenomenon because it innovated with its special effects, and it touched on topics and issues that have been discussed throughout human history and how these affect our future. The Matrix came out during a time when the internet was in its infancy and was not yet part of our society. It was impossible at the time to determine its impact on our world and how we live. Today, The Matrix is more relevant than ever, and it is interesting to know that Keanu Reeves thinks that Matrix 4 will give us a frame of reference for the future. So will history repeat itself, and Matrix 4 will become a film that marks a generation as its predecessor did? And our last bit of news was one that we did not have time to talk about after the premiere of the Matrix 4 trailer, but we think it is important for the future of this franchise. And it involves video game developer Hideo Kojima, creator of Metal Gear and Death Stranding. The day whatisthematrix.com went online, Kojima took to his Twitter account and started talking about his experiences with The Matrix. This caught the attention of the media, who then began to speculate that perhaps Kojima was involved in the creation of this website. Kojima is famous for his viral marketing, and the fact that whatisthematrix.com used fourth wall breaking marketing to speak to the viewers reminds us of parts of Metal Gear Solid where the game also breaks the fourth wall. At the moment, it has not been confirmed if Kojima collaborated in any way in the marketing of Matrix 4, but subsequently, we got some reasons why Kojima supports the film. Kojima talked about his first time watching The Matrix and when he met the Wachowskis, and I quote, "Memories of The Matrix. I saw the trailer at the Warner screening room and the full-length version at theaters in LA. After that, I saw the subtitle version at the screening in Japan. I sent a letter or email to the sisters, brothers at the time, through the distributor. They replied that they were fans of my game. On the morning of their visit to Japan, we did a cross-interview at the hotel and went to the premiere and the aftermath. I met them 3 times in one day. Mr. Jeff Darrow, who came with the Wachowski sisters, suddenly called me Kojima-sensei. I was shaken." End quote. Now maybe this is just the appreciation from one artist to another. After all, Kojima does show admiration for the Wachowskis. But come to think of it, if there is one developer who would be perfect to turn Matrix into a big-budget video game, well, you already know the answer to that. Kojima is one of the few developers who have successfully managed to combine action, philosophy, and psychological manipulation in video games. He even gave his idea of how an interactive movie about the Matrix could be made in the future. And I quote, "I'm fantasizing about the Matrix Resurrections. Could it be an interactive movie? Because that's what the trailer looked like. The audience can choose between red and blue, different processes and endings. Red advance tickets, blue movie tickets, red movie theaters, and blue movie theaters. Or red for movie theaters and blue for distribution. Is the delivery interactive, or does the BD still contain both?" End quote. The idea of Matrix 4 being an interactive movie with 2 different endings, one for the blue pills and one for the red pills, is fascinating. But the important thing to take from Kojima's opinion is that he is watching The Matrix as a fan, and is fantasizing about ideas of how to involve the public in the plot. It is not outside the realm of possibility that Kojima might be speaking behind the scenes with the movie creators to make a new Matrix video game, because as we mentioned, only Kojima can expand the Matrix franchise to the interactive medium with the level of complexity that this universe is known for. But do you agree? Should Hideo Kojima make a Matrix video game? What do you think about the possibility of a blue pill ending and a red pill ending?
This is Zion, and we are not afraid!
For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.